Hey guys, it's Kamrin and welcome back to my channel. I finally moved into my new place, so I'm all set up and ready to go. We have a new setup. Today we're going to talk about waist training tips and tricks. So if you are new to this channel, then you may not know that I have released my own waist training line. It is on kyshop.com. I have resistance bands and waist trainers. Basically, what we're talking today is just about like the tips and tricks to help you better your progress with waist training. So I'm going to give you guys everything that I have learned over the past 4 years. Now, just a disclaimer, I'm not a professional, I'm not a physician. I don't really think there's like a professional waist trainer person or anything. Before we get started, make sure you guys head to my Instagram. I am having a giveaway. It's ending on Friday the 13th, which is low-key a really unlucky number. I am giving away a waist trainer and a booty band to one lucky winner, and then 3 booty bands to 3 other winners. But we're gonna get started. So first tip, so in terms of sizing, the number one question I always get, how do I know if I'm getting the right size? On my website, I do have a sizing chart that is based off of if you're like a beginner. I currently, for example, wear a 3 extra small in my line. That is for a 20 to 18 inch waist. However, I do not have a 20 to 18 inch waist, but I do wear that waist trainer because I'm already used to like the compression and everything and how uncomfortable it can be. I wear that one to just kind of get the maximum result. If you have already been waist training and you kind of already know how things work and you're just trying to get progress really quickly, I do suggest sizing down to the next size. So I actually should be in a 2 extra small, but because I already know how things are, I size down to a 3 extra small. I kind of just wear that one for 2 to 3 hours, not even. Normally I advise 3 to 4, but because that one's so tight, I don't wear it very long. It just really depends on your experience and kind of your knowledge of how things should work. I just don't advise that with my sizing chart and stuff because I know people get real greedy and they want them to effect really fast, and they'll leave that on for like 8 hours, and girl, you're gonna die if you do that. So the next thing that I have to talk about, the next tip, is sometimes I do get people who purchase waist trainers and they're like, oh my god, it didn't fit me and I followed the size chart correctly and everything's exactly how it should be and it's not the size that I need. Let's say there's like me and this other girl, and she has a very tapered in waist and I have a square waistline. We can be the exact same measurements. I'm sure we all know here that everyone's body is completely different. Just because you have the same waistline measurement does not always mean you need the same size. If you have more of a tapered in waistline, I do suggest sizing down to the next size. If you have more of a square waistline, stay within your size range. Okay. Next tip. So I do get a lot of people also that ask me, oh, I bought this waist trainer off of AliExpress for like $5 and I don't know why it didn't work and I don't get it. I thought all waist trainers were made the same. So no, not all waist trainers are made the same. There are kind of like the same generic waist trainers, but there's like these 3 different types. I don't know, there's just like these really weird waist trainers that I do not suggest and you will not see effect. If you are buying a waist trainer for $5, most likely it's not gonna work for you. The one that I see all the time that people buy is like the breathable ones with the little holes inside of it. That is not gonna work for you guys, like, at all. The whole thing about waist trainers is that they are squeezing in on you. So if there's all those holes and it's a very thin material, there's really no way it's gonna work. And then you also get like the little flimsy ones that they call them waist trainers, but they're really sweatbands. That's not gonna work either. It has to be a very thick material and it needs to compress on you. So this is my 3X. This is pretty thick material. Next tip that I have is in terms of sizing. Again, a lot of times people will try and measure themselves at the skinniest they ever are. So I always advise making sure that you've gone and you've eaten, and then that way, like, your stomach is what it's gonna normally be at, because unless you're doing what I explained before, which is like having the super tiny size and only wearing it for a little bit in the morning, you're gonna be wearing it for about 4 to 5 hours a day, and at that point you're gonna have been eating and drinking and stuff like that, and your stomach is obviously going to swell. Next one, this is like a tip trick, I don't know, whatever, something that I have figured out works for me. I don't know if it's gonna work for everybody. Once again, like I said, I am not a physician, I'm not a doctor, I'm not anything. It's just my experience. I have always found that wearing a waist trainer while I'm on my period or have like cramps and stuff like that has helped me so much. So I don't know if everyone is like this, but if you ever have those times where like you have really bad cramps and you're like squeezing your stomach and it kind of helps a little bit, that's I don't know if that's just me. Lord, please tell me if that's just me. But for me, the waist trainer does the same exact thing. And then the other thing that I've actually noticed that it really helps with is bloating as well. It's not gonna be a forever fix. I normally just do it when I'm like getting ready to take pictures or stuff like that, and I kind of need to decrease my bloat a little bit. Okay, next thing. So I also get asked this a lot, which I don't even know why. Waist trainers are not sweatbands. Please do not wear your please do not wear your waist trainer to the gym. You are going to be in so much pain that is so unhealthy for you. And if you're getting those little cheapy ones from AliExpress, sure, you can wear that as a sweatband, but once again, it has holes in it. That's not gonna work even as a sweatband, because a sweatband is basically just creating a shield. Sweatbands work for like losing water weight really fast. It is not something that's gonna help you lose weight. It just keeps water weight off of you if you're using it constantly. Waist trainers will restrict your breathing. So if you're going to go work out and you're already out of breath because you've been jumping and all this kind of stuff, and you have something restricting your breathing, that is obviously not healthy whatsoever. I suggest you go buy yourself a sweatband. Sweatbands, I use the one that's $5 from Walmart. Works perfectly good. All sweatbands, literally, all sweatbands are made alike. And also, please do not sleep in your waist trainer. Oh my God, do not sleep in it. First of all, you can't even sleep because you're in so much discomfort. So there you go, you're hacking away at your sleep, which is all what your body needs to heal and all that kind of stuff. Let's say you do fall asleep with the waist trainer on. A lot of people do that because they're uncomfortable during the day, so they feel like, oh, I'm just gonna go to sleep with it on so I can ignore that. The whole thing while you're waist training, you need to be paying attention to how you're feeling. If it's starting to hurt too much, take it off. If it's pinching, take it off. If you're sleeping and you can't process those things, then you're doing things that are bad for your body. You have to listen as you're doing it. And as well, you're most likely leaving it on for 8+ hours, which is extremely unsafe. Second to last tip is I sometimes experience like where it starts to dig into my skin. To kind of stop that and like that uncomfortable digging where it kind of hits right under your boob and like right at your waistline, I do suggest wearing like a little cami underneath, like a little tank top. Then you could just wear a hoodie over it if you're going outside, you don't want anyone to see it. So my very last tip / trick is do not sit down with your waist trainer. I know in my past couple of videos and my biggest video about waist training is that I said you could kind of wear it to work and stuff. I only meant that like as if you're not sitting down all day, which most likely everyone is pretty much sitting down while they're working. The waist trainer, when you sit down, folds. We all have belly rolls. Literally the skinniest person is gonna have rolls when they sit down. And when you do that, that waist trainer basically pinches those layers of skin and it starts to bruise. It gets very uncomfortable, and once again, it's not safe. Wear it when you're running errands, wear it when you're making breakfast, wear it when you're taking your dog like for a walk, like a low key, no like speed walking, not like you're gonna run out of breath. Anything that you're gonna use it to stand up, because otherwise it will pinch your skin. Waist training is very controversial because people like to take things to an extreme all the time. There is a million ways you can make anything dangerous, and if you're not taking things slowly and going at the pace that you should be and not trying to rush things, it obviously can be made dangerous. But if you do things correctly, you'll be perfectly fine. I've been waist training for about 4.5 years now, and it's helped me immensely. I have no organ issues whatsoever, no damage to my ribs. I am completely 100% healthy, probably the most healthy I've ever been in my entire life. So you guys can go check out the rest of my videos. I have kind of like a frequently asked questions video on waist training. I also have my first video I made about waist training is where I talk about my before and after. I will have all those linked down below as well as at the end of the screen. If you are interested in purchasing one of my waist trainers, they are $35 and free shipping, as well as the resistance bands are $20. And there's a bundle deal where it gives you 10% off if you buy a resistance band and a waist trainer as well. That's gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Making money like a mint, laying in my ice like shrimp, mint condition that